Welcome back to another deep dive, everybody. Today we are going to be taking a look at the upcoming 2025 Formula One season.
Yeah, preseason testing's right around the corner, and
I know, right?
everyone's just buzzing with those, driver lineup changes and potential shakeups.
The rumor mill's going crazy, and so we're going to jump into some of that today.
Yeah.
So, one of the biggest things, obviously, that everybody's talking about is Lewis Hamilton joining Ferrari.
Absolutely.
And teaming up with Charles Leclerc. I mean, what do you think about that pairing?
We've got, the young gun in Leclerc, who's, arguably the fastest qualifier. And then you've got Hamilton, the 7-time world champion.
Right.
Trying to prove he's still got it.
Can he still get it done?
Yeah. Is he past it, or can he fight back?
And especially with those new cars.
Yeah. So that's another big factor, right?
Right.
Hamilton's had some, struggles with these new ground effect cars.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Mm-hmm. And how's he going to adapt to the Ferrari, which has different characteristics?
Yeah, could you just, for listeners who might not know, fill us in on kind of what ground effect is and how it's changed F1?
Okay, so imagine an airplane wing, but flipped upside down and attached to the bottom of the car.
Okay.
That's essentially what ground effect is.
Interesting.
It uses the shape of the floor to create downforce by channeling air through tunnels.
So they're really sucking the car to the track.
Yeah, exactly. The closer it gets to the ground, the more downforce it generates.
Oh.
It's different from the older aerodynamic designs that relied heavily on wings and stuff.
Got it. So how has that impacted drivers like Hamilton?
Well, these cars are much more sensitive to ride height.
Okay.
So even the slightest bump or change in the track surface can disrupt the airflow and cause a sudden loss of downforce. So it makes them trickier to drive, especially at high speeds.
Right.
Hamilton's used to a more stable car,
right,
so he had to adjust his style. So will the Ferrari be more forgiving?
That's the big question, right? Can he adapt to that car?
Will he be able to regain his confidence?
All right. Well, we'll have to see about that. But let's move on to another team that's making waves. AstonMartin.
Yes.
With the legendary ADRIAN Newey joining the team. I mean, that's a big statement.
Yeah.
Huge.
It really is.
What do you think about that?
Well, he's the mastermind behind some of the most dominant cars in F1 history.
Right.
Particularly during Red Bull's reign.
Exactly.
But, Aston Martin needs more than just a brilliant designer, right?
So you're saying just having him isn't enough?
It's not a guaranteed recipe for success.
Got it.
They need a fundamental shift in their understanding of ground effect.
So even with somebody like ADRIAN Newey, they still need to have that team that can come together and actually, make it all work.
Precisely.
Okay.
Newey's strength is exploiting those tiny details of the regulations and pushing the boundaries of aerodynamic design.
Right.
But the entire team needs to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Build a car that's not only fast, but also predictable.
Reliable.
Yeah, and reliable so the drivers can push its limits.
Speaking of drivers pushing limits, let's talk about McLaren.
Okay.
They had a really good year last year. Surprised a lot of people.
They did.
And they have Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri.
Two very talented, ambitious young drivers.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, but it also brings challenges, right?
Right.
What happens if both of them are in championship contention? How do you manage that?
Especially because we saw some tension, at Monza last year.
After that chicane.
It was a little awkward. I don't know if McLaren was quite ready for that.
Yeah, they seemed a little bit unprepared for the rivalry.
So what do they need to do differently this year?
Well, they need clear strategies in place, right? Especially when it comes to team orders.
Yeah.
They can't let driver ambitions sabotage their overall performance.
Makes sense. All right, let's move on to another team with a potentially explosive driver dynamic, Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Carlos Sainz has joined Alex Albon.
Interesting pairing.
What do you think about that?
I mean, Sainz is coming off a kind of disappointing stint at Ferrari.
He is.
But this could be a chance for him to rebuild his reputation.
You think so?
Yeah.
Show what he's capable of?
Absolutely.
But what about Albon, though?
Well, he's never really had to face a teammate of Sainz's caliber.
That's true.
So it's a real test for him.
Do you think he can rise to the challenge?
He needs to step up his game.
Yeah.
Be more aggressive.
Right.
Show that he can handle the pressure.
All right, so a big test for Albon. We'll see how that unfolds. But let's take a look at a team that's making a bold move for the future. Alpine.
Okay.
They signed rookie Franco Colapinto.
Alongside Esteban Ocon?
Right. And they also have Jack Doohan as a reserve driver.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that whole situation?
Well, it's a gamble, but it also shows their ambition. They're clearly looking to the future.
Yeah.
Building a driver lineup that could challenge for championships, down the road.
But what about Duhan, though?
He's in a tough spot. He needs to be patient, but also make the most of any opportunity he gets.
Right.
Alpine's team principal, Otmar Safnauer, is known for his ruthlessness when it comes to driver changes.
That's true.
If Colapinto struggles, Duhan needs to be ready to step in and seize the moment.
Okay, well, let's move on to a team that's facing some serious pressure.
Howdy.
Yes. They're gearing up for their official entry in 2026.
Right.
But they're currently struggling with their Saber-Run team.
Yeah, their F1 journey has been bumpy so far.
It really has.
They're behind schedule, facing technical challenges.
They're not quite the dominant force that they thought they were going to be.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
So what are they saying about all this?
Well, they've been quite candid about the challenges they inherited.
Okay.
But they have started to make some progress. They introduced a promising new floor towards the end of last season.
Okay.
And they even scored some points in Qatar.
All right, so there's some hope.
There's always hope in Formula One.
No.
But Audi needs a major turnaround if they want to be competitive by 2026.
All right, well, let's wrap up this part of our deep dive with the team that everyone is trying to catch, Red Bull.
Okay.
They've been dominant for years.
They have.
But are there cracks in the empire?
Well, their dominance started to wane towards the end of last season, particularly after ADRIAN Newey left.
Right.
They struggled to keep up with the development pace.
Okay.
And Max Verstappen became increasingly vocal about his frustrations.
Interesting. So Newey leaving really did have a big impact.
It seems so.
And so what's the outlook for Red Bull in 2025 then?
This season will be a crucial test for them.
Okay.
They need to prove they can still develop a championship-winning car.
Without Newey?
Yeah, without Newey's guidance.
And they need to keep Verstappen happy.
Absolutely.
If they fail on either of those fronts, there could be big repercussions.
Yeah, big changes.
This is all getting very interesting. But we're going to have to pause our deep dive here for now. Join us for part 2, where we'll delve deeper into those potential scenarios.
Absolutely.
I just see you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
So we were talking about Red Bull.
Yeah, and whether they can...
maintain their dominance?
Yeah, bounce back.
Yeah.
Will they be able to keep Verstappen happy?
Especially because there are rumors that if things don't go well, he might jump ship.
He might.
And go to Mercedes.
Imagine Verstappen and Russell as teammates.
I know, right?
Could you imagine?
That would be cognitive.
Pairing.
The combination of like their raw speed and aggressive driving styles.
Oh, yeah. That would be intense.
You would be formidable.
And, I mean, remember their clash at Spa in 2022.
Sparks flew, literally.
Yeah.
But, you know, they've both matured since then.
Right.
And Toto Wolff is like a master at managing driver dynamics. Yeah, he's not going to put up with any nonsense.
No, he will lay down the law.
Okay.
And make sure there's a harmonious working relationship.
But what about Mercedes' young driver, Antonelli?
Yeah.
You know, they've invested so much in him.
They have.
Would they really sideline him for Verstappen?
That's the million-dollar question.
I know.
Mercedes has, they see him as a future world champion.
Right.
But if Verstappen becomes available, it's hard to resist a driver who's already proven himself.
Yeah. You know, short-term gain versus long-term vision.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think they'll do?
Well, Mercedes is all about winning.
Yeah.
They've tasted championship glory.
Right.
And they crave it.
So
if they think Verstappen gives them the best chance, they'll go for it.
So they might prioritize experience, proven performance.
In the short term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but let's talk about Ferrari.
Speaking of teams that want to win,
right?
Ferrari.
The perennial enigma.
Yeah, they've got the history, the resources.
That's passionate tifosi.
Tifosi, but they've been plagued by inconsistency.
And strategic blunders.
Yeah.
Oh, the strategic blunders.
It's like they're always one step behind Red Bull and Mercedes.
Especially with in-season development.
Yeah, their development just hasn't been there.
It seems like they start strong.
Yeah.
But then
they fade.
Yeah.
So this year they need to be more proactive.
More adaptable.
Yeah.
No more like mistimed pit stops.
No more confusing team orders.
Yeah.
They need to operate like a well-oiled machine.
Speaking of well-oiled machines, let's talk about Williams.
Okay.
They've been stuck at the back of the grid for a while.
Yeah.
But now they have Sainz and Albon.
Interesting driver lineup.
Yeah. Could this be their year?
Well, Williams has made some shrewd moves. Their driver lineup is definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
Sainz brings experience and a point to prove.
He does.
And Albon has shown flashes of brilliance.
But they need consistency.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
No more one-hit wonders.
Right. They need to be up there every week.
Yeah, they need to establish themselves as our regular point-scoring team.
And challenge for podiums.
Exactly.
Okay.
If they can do that, it would be a remarkable turnaround.
It would be great to see them back in the mix.
It would liven things up.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about some other teams that could shake things up?
Well, AlphaTauri always has the potential to surprise.
Yeah. They've got a knack for nurturing young talent.
They do.
And their car often punches above its weight.
It does.
And what about Haas?
Haas is a bit of a wild card.
They are.
They can be fast.
Yeah.
But they're also prone to making mistakes.
Right.
If they can find that sweet spot.
Of consistency
Yeah.
and aggression.
They could be a threat.
Okay, so we've got Williams on the rise.
Yeah.
AlphaTauri lurking in the shadows.
Lurking.
And Haas as the unpredictable wild card.
Absolutely.
This midfield battle is going to be a dogfight.
It's going to be a good one.
I can't wait.
And then there's Audi.
Oh, yeah. The elephant in the room.
Yeah. They're not officially in until 2026.
Right.
But their presence is being felt.
Especially with those struggles at Sauber.
Yeah. It's been a tough start for them.
It has.
They've kind of underestimated
the complexity of F1.
Yeah. They're playing catch-up.
They really are.
And they've admitted that they inherited a team in disarray.
Yeah.
So they're facing an uphill battle.
So what's the outlook for them?
Well, they need a fundamental shift in their approach.
Okay.
They need to streamline their operations.
All right.
Improve their communication.
They're track top talent.
Yeah, attract top talent.
Okay.
Both on and off the track.
So it's not just about throwing money at the problem.
No, it's not just about the money.
It's about making smart decisions.
Yeah. Developing a winning culture.
Yeah.
Building a strong team.
Okay.
It's a long road ahead.
But they have the resources.
They do.
And the ambition.
The ambition is there.
We'll have to wait and see if they can translate that into results.
Yeah. Results are what matter.
Well, I'm excited to see how it all unfolds.
Me too.
It's going to be a fascinating season.
Formula One never disappoints.
It really doesn't.
It's a sport where anything can happen.
Yeah, fortunes can change in an instant.
You never know what's going to happen next.
And the underdogs can always pull off a surprise.
Always.
All right, well, we're going to have to pause our deep dive here again.
Okay.
Join us for part 3, where we will explore some bold predictions
I will.
for the 2025 season.
Some hot takes.
Yes, some hot takes.
Spicy.
Okay, we'll see you then. All right, so we've talked about all the teams and drivers.
Yeah, all the big storylines.
But now it's time for some bold predictions for this season.
Okay. Hit me with them.
Give us some hot takes.
All right. I think George Russell will outscore Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes.
Wow, okay. That's a bold one.
I know, right?
But I could see where you're coming from. Russell has been so consistent
He has.
since joining Mercedes.
Incredibly consistent.
And yeah, he seems to have adapted really well to these ground effect cars.
He has. Yeah, he's hungry, he's ambitious, and he wants to prove that he can beat a 7-time world champion.
Yeah.
You know, and if Hamilton struggles at Ferrari, this could be Russell's chance to take the lead.
Interesting. Okay, I like that one.
Hmm.
What else you got?
Okay, how about this? I think we'll see at least one major driver lineup change during the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think so?
I do. The pressure is higher than ever.
Yeah.
And teams are ruthless.
That's
You know, they want results.
They do.
And if their current pairings aren't delivering,
They're going to make changes.
they're going to make changes.
And plus, we've got the 2026 regulations looming.
Right, teams will be starting their development early.
Exactly.
And some drivers might find themselves out of a seat.
Yeah, if they're not considered part of the long-term plan.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a bit of a musical chairs situation.
A little bit,
Right.
yeah. You know.
Okay, I like that. All right, so we've got Russell outscoring Hamilton and a major driver lineup change. What else you got?
Okay, let's talk about Audi.
All right.
Their entry into F1 has been a bit of a disaster.
That really has.
They underestimated the sport.
Yeah,
They're playing catch-up.
big time.
Big time. Yeah.
So what do they need to do to turn things around?
Well, they need a complete overhaul,
Okay.
streamline their operations, improve communication.
Attract top talent.
Yeah, attract top
So
talent.
it's not just about the money.
No.
It's about having the right people.
Right people, right structure, right culture.
Yeah,
It's a long road ahead for them.
it is.
But, you know, they have the resources.
They do.
They have the ambition.
And we'll see if they can make it happen.
It'll be interesting to watch that journey.
It will.
Yeah.
Speaking of journeys, let's talk about Williams.
Okay.
They've made some good progress lately.
Yeah, they have.
New leadership investments in infrastructure.
Yeah.
And they've got Sainz and Albon.
A solid driver pairing.
Do you think they can keep up this momentum?
That's the question, right? Can they be consistent?
Yeah.
Can they develop a reliable car?
Avoid any major setbacks.
Exactly.
And I think a big part of it is going to be the drivers.
The drivers are key.
Making sure that they're working well together.
Yeah, pushing each other to improve.
Yeah.
Sainz and Albon have the potential to be a really strong duo.
They do.
So, yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how they do.
Especially against all the other midfield teams.
The midfield battle is always so unpredictable.
It is.
You never know who's going to come out on top.
It's anyone's game.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's safe to say that this 2025 F1 season is going to be a good one.
I think so, too. We've got driver changes, potential team shakeups, new regulations coming.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
A lot to look forward to.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Be sure to subscribe to F1 Build GS for all the latest F1 news and analysis, and we will see you next time for another deep dive.
See ya.